Hello again and welcome to another Warhammer 40k Mordian Glory video. Now for those of you that may not know, I have been running a painting event inside the Mordian Glory Discord for the last 3 months. It's been called Trooping the Colour, and the whole point of the event was to try and help people slay the grey but also make some new friends within the Discord. And so that event has just come to a close, and what I want to do in today's episode is go over the event and take a look at all of the fantastic models that were painted and how well did each team do. Now before we dive into this event, I know many of you are going to be saying, oh man, that sounds loads of fun, I really wish I had got involved in that. Don't worry, this isn't going to be the only painting event that I'm going to run. In fact, it's going to be another one coming out very soon that will help us paint all of the new lovely guard models that are going to be coming out as part of the 9th edition Codex release. So if you like the sound of what you hear in this video, then don't worry, there's plenty of opportunity for you to sign up and get involved in more Mordian Glory painting events. It's a great way to slay the grey and make a ton of new friends along the way. But for now, let's dive straight into today's video. So let's have a quick recap on what the heck this painting event was. Essentially, it was an inter-regimental painting competition that was held within the Mordian Glory Discord server. To get involved, each person in the Discord who wanted to take part in the event picked a regiment that they wanted to support. They could only pick one though, so they had to decide which was their favourite regiment. So for example, I obviously wanted to support the Mordian Iron Guard, so I said I'm going to support the Mordian Iron Guard during this painting event. Once people had decided which team they wanted to support, they then started painting their models and earning points for their team. And earning points was really simple. All you had to do was take a picture of an unpainted unit or units, and then once you'd finished painting it, you posted an after picture, and that scored you points for your team. And the number of points you scored was based on the unit's in-game points value. So for example, if I painted 2 infantry squads for the Mordian Iron Guard and then posted a before picture and an after picture, I would then earn 120 points for the Mordians. And that was basically the event, and everyone really got involved. There was like all the right attitude and spirit. It was just fantastic seeing people coming together and working out like team strategies, like, okay, we want to paint this many tanks because that's going to earn us as many points as possible. Seeing people literally paint through their entire backlog. I have never seen guard players complete their entire backlog before, but we had multiple people who not only finished all of their backlog, they went out and got more models to try and support their team, and it was just fantastic. I had 2 goals for this event. The first one was to help people slay their grey, because for how long, I mean, we all know, we all have piles of shame. We all have models that we've been sitting on for years that we never get round to painting, and I thought this will be a great motivator to help me and other people paint their models up. But the main goal for the event was to just get people involved, get people chatting and making new friends and just having a great time. And I can say to both of those objectives, mission accomplished. But that's a summary of the event. Now let's get into the results. And whilst you're enjoying these results, you can see a slideshow of the pictures of all the completed vows. And I hope you can all agree with me that there's been a lot of effort put into these models, and there have been some fantastic models completed. So let's start at the bottom of the leaderboard and work our way up. So coming in at the bottom of the leaderboard is the Gene Circle. Probably appropriate for them. They do like being at the bottom in the underhive, skulking around, making lots of plans. Now I want to say a big thank you to Hatress Monarch and Bob the Gene Stealer for signing up to the event for the Gene Circle. And these guys had a great bit of banter going on. They were egging each other on, they were supporting each other, but they didn't have a huge amount of models to paint, but they wanted to get involved in the event, and that's exactly the right attitude. So a huge thank you to both these guys, and a special mention, they did actually have a 100% complete rate. So even though there was only a couple of them, and they only managed to complete 423 points worth of models, they did complete every single one of them. So well done to them, and thank you guys for getting involved and representing the Three-Armed Emperor. Coming in after the Gene Circle at 11th place, we had the Elysian Drop Troops. Now it was always going to be a tough fight for the Elysians, considering GW has dropped all support for their regiment, but it was great to see a couple of drop troopers come out and represent their regiment. So we had Victor and we had Dan, and both of these guys threw everything they had in the event, and at the end of the day they were able to complete 1,035 points. So well done to those guys. And one thing I want to say that was really heartening to see is no regiment got unrepresented. Every regiment was able to come up with 1 or 2 people to, represent their faction and have a good time. So that was great to see. Well done to Victor. Well done to Dan for getting involved. Special mention to Dan. He painted a heck of a lot of models, and in fact, including in there were 20 Rough Riders, which is just fantastic. So well done to you guys. Well done for keeping the spirit of Elysia alive, and well done for getting involved in the event. Coming in 10th place with 1,360 points of models completed, we have the Talan. Now, I was surprised by this. When the event first kicked off, the Talan sub was really, really active, and lots of people got their initial vials of models in, and it was great to see. But it just turned out that those initial vials was pretty much all that the Talan had available, and after that, they were ready in the desert to ambush anyone that came their way. But they still represented their regiment really, really well, and got loads and loads of models completed. In fact, between them, they were able to complete about 150 infantry models, and then a couple of vehicles as well. So absolutely fantastic result from them. And I think that because they mostly focused on infantry, their overall score was a little bit lower than you would expect, because obviously tanks take up a lot of points in a guard army. So well done to them. Well done for painting so many Desert Raiders, and thank you for getting involved. And a big well done and an 07 to L11 TriStar, Andrew F, Fescar, and OK. Coming in 9th place is actually my second favourite regiment in the Imperial Guard. It is the Armageddon Steel Legion. Now, the Armageddon Steel Legion completed 1,530 points, but they actually only completed about 30 infantry models. The vast majority of their points came from tanks, which is exactly what you'd expect from the Sons of Armageddon. So absolutely fantastic result from these guys. They were able to get about 1,530 points completed, and that was thanks to the efforts of Heathen General, Bemuse Raven, Harry Lane, Chucho, the Supreme Authority, and Floodle. Big thank you to all of you guys, and a special mention and thank you to Bemuse Raven and Floodle, because both those guys got their initial vows done, and then they sort of egged each other on a little bit, and they decided, you know what, we're going to get a second lot of models done as well. So big well done to those guys for, really embracing the camaraderie of the event. Coming in 8th place, we have the Vestroyan Firstborn, and these guys did an absolutely fantastic job. Not only did they have lots of vows, but they actually completed all of them as well. And between Jam, John, Reeple and Tim, they were actually able to complete 2,495 points worth of models. And they had a 100% completion rate as well, which is absolutely fantastic. And they completed a whole mixture of stuff. There were infantry, there were tanks, they even had a Praetor super heavy tank turn up as well, which is really, really good. So special thank you and well done to all of the Vestroyan members, because not only did you vow lots of models, there's a huge variety, and you were one of the few regiments that had a 100% completion rate as well. So big well done to the Vestroyan Firstborn. Thank you guys for getting involved in the Trooping the Colour painting event. Coming in 7th place and taking the top spot of the bottom half of the leaderboard, we have the Stormtroopers. That's right, the Militarm Tempesta Sounds had their own dedicated channel, and they were representing the Scholar Progenium hard. They did a really, really good job. And again, like the Vestroyans, they had a 100% completion rate, and they had a lot of vials to show for it as well. So big well done to all of the Stormtroopers. And those guys are a Matt Finish, Mark Pank, Campbell, Biltong Boob, and Skip Dragon. Well done, you guys, for getting involved. I want to say a big thank you and well done to Mark Pank, because he got lots of models done. He actually completed over 25 sounds and 2 Valkyries, which was actually the most out of anyone in that regiment. So big well done to him, and overall, massive thank you to all of the Stormtrooper people that got involved in the Trooping the Colour event. You guys actually did really, really well. It was initially a very slow start for the Stormtroopers. I think only 1 or 2 people signed up, and I think between them they might have had like a dozen or 2 Stormtroopers. It really wasn't very much. But by the end of the event, just like Scions in the tabletop, they were deep striking in turn 2, turn 3. They were getting loads of vows done right up to the very end. In fact, Skip Dragon got his vow completed at the 11th hour, at the very last point before the cutoff of the event. So well done to him for coming in and completing it in style. Coming in 6th place and taking the bottom spot of the top half of the leaderboard, we have the Gas Mask Boys, the Death Corps of Krieg. Now, the Krieg boys had a very mixed event. Initially, loads and loads of people people signed up for their team, and they were vowing tens of thousands of points, and they looked like they were going to be in a position to actually win the event. But unfortunately, despite the fact that they pledged lots of points that they were going to complete loads and loads of models, they didn't have much of a follow through. But it doesn't matter, because many of them still were able to get some models painted that they wouldn't have got done without the event. So overall, still a massive success and a well done to all of the Krieg boys for getting involved. And I want to say a special thank you to Trucking Joe, Coconuts, Jonathan, Colton, Dennis, Clockhart, Cosmic, Roger My Todger, Jen Quarters, Sam, Lord Prayer, Leo Kinghart and Khan for getting involved in the event, and well done for, if not completing your vows, at least getting involved, making lots of friends. One thing I can say is that whilst the Krieg boys may not have completed many of the points they said they were going to, they did actually have one of the most active subs, loads of people chatting and getting together and having a great time. So they were definitely one of the most sociable sort of sub channels out there, which is fantastic. But well done to the Krieg boys for completing 3,378 points. But just to give you guys an idea, the number of points that they didn't complete that they said they were going to was 8,990. So woo! A lot of casualties on the Krieg side. They didn't complete that many points, but they did give it a good go and they got involved. Next up, we had the Death World lads, and we had the Catachans. Now, the Catachans were actually involved in a grudge match with the Renegades and Heretics. The Renegades actually started it. And so what I did is I gave both those teams a few extra special rules that they could use to try and win the grudge match. And so you'll notice that actually the Catachans are going to have two scores. They're going to have the number of points they completed for the main event and the number of points they completed in their grudge match against the Renegades and Heretics. Now, for the main event, the Catachans were actually able to complete 4,490 points, which is a really, really good effort considering that there were only actually 7 people on their team. So big well done to them. Now, in addition to this, if we include the points that they completed in their grudge match versus the Renegades and Heretics, they actually completed an additional 4,265 points, which means overall, between the grudge match and the main event, the Catachans were actually able to paint 8,755 points, which is really, really, really good. However, the grudge match points are kept separate, and the main event points are what dictating where they land in the leaderboard. There's a whole bunch of reasons for that. I won't get into them now, but it was just so that the Catachans couldn't use their grudge match vows to try and outdo other teams which didn't have a grudge match going on. That would have given them an unfair advantage. So overall, that's why I've split the two scores up like that. But either way, fantastic job by the Catachans. Well done to Diesel Fox, Gunlock Zero, Revenga, Scooter Pumpkin Shooter, Lev Hadrian, and Hammer 1349. Well done to all of you guys for getting involved in the event. And I want to say a special thank you and well done to Gunlock Zero and Revenga. Gunlock Zero was painting models like an absolute machine. At one point, he vowed a whole platoon of infantry in the morning, and he had it completed in the afternoon. He had those heretics quaking in their boots in the grudge match, and it was a beautiful sight to behold. So well done to Gunlock Zero for that, and another well done to him, because not only did he get lots of models painted, he completed his entire 40k backlog. Not a single miniature was left unpainted. I have never seen a guard player complete their entire backlog before. It's almost an impossibility. It goes against the laws of the universe, but Gunlock Zero has transcended those laws and he completed his backlog. At one point, he actually vowed a whole bunch of Orc infantry as well, because we were allowing Orcs to be vowed as part of Orktober, just a little special way of celebrating that part of the Warhammer calendar. So big well done to him, and another special thank you to Revenga, because he did a fantastic job. He didn't have quite as much in his backlog, but when he had completed his backlog, he actually went out and bought more models. I think this kid put together a whole tank company over the course of the event, including a Baneblade. So well done to Revenga for, generously bankrolling and funding the Catachan War effort, and well done to Gunlock Zero for painting every single model in his Warhammer 40k collection. Coming in ahead of the Catachans, we had the Frosty Lads, the Valhallan Ice Warriors, and these guys did really, really well. They had the same number of people on their team as the Catachans, but in the main event, they were able to get completed 7,137 points. So a big, big well done to them. And I want to say thank you to Valhallan Woody Melter, Icbard, JP, Lyman Abraxas, Marshall, Setso1 and Valhallan 1212 for getting involved in the event and getting lots and lots of models painted. Well done to all of you guys, but I want to say a special well done to Icbard, also known as Objective Insecure. He actually has a YouTube channel. If you haven't checked it out, go on YouTube and search for Objective Insecure. Check him out. He's actually a really fun guy. He really completed a lot of the points on his team. In fact, he completed over 5,000 points worth of models. At one point, he completed 6 Hellhounds, 1 Baneblade, 9 Lehman Russes, 4 Chimeras, 6 Heavy Mortars, 2 Basilisks, 1 Vendetta, 1 Wyvern, and that was just in one go. Absolute mad lad. So well done to him for really embracing the spirit of the event, and well done to him for really pushing the Valhallan offensive forward. One interesting thing to note about the Valhallans is they were at one point actually in a position to come third or maybe even second in the event, but unfortunately there were a few times where they sort of pledged models but couldn't quite get them finished in time. But either way, they still came in at a fantastic 4th place and they represented the Ice World very, very well. So well done to all of you guys. Okay, and now we have the top 3 teams. These are the guys that made it onto the podium. So in 3rd place, with an absolutely fantastic, unbelievably good result, we had the Renegades and Heretics team. Now the reason I'm saying this is absolutely unbelievable and fantastic is because there was only 3 of them in the team. And not only was there only 3 of them, not only did they get thousands and thousands of points completed, but they had a 100% completion rate as well. With these guys around, no wonder Cadia fell in the end. Absolutely incredible. So before we even get into the points, I want to say a special thank you to Deaf Noise Marine, Lexi and Vigo the Butch. You guys did amazingly. And the level of camaraderie and planning and everything that was going on in the Heretic channel was fantastic. They had a full game plan. They quickly identified at the beginning of the event, you know what? Let's focus on tanks because tanks are quicker to paint and they also earn more points. A lot of regiments, a lot of people that struggled to get their models completed, struggled because they were stuck on painting hordes and hordes of infantry. So the Heretics between them painted an just ungodly, an unchaos godly amount of tanks. In fact, if I go and check the stats right now, the Heretics actually painted 44 tanks between the 3 of them and 1 super heavy. And even though they weren't focused on infantry, they still painted up 142 infantry, which is just incredible. So well done to the Heretics. Their final points were in the main event 7,778. And in the, if you count their grudge vow points as well, which they got on top of their regular vows, they got 1,383 for a total overall paint score of 9,161. Absolutely fantastic score, guys. So a big well done and congratulations in order for the Renegades and Heretic team. They absolutely smashed it. Coming in 2nd place, we had the Mordian Iron Guard. That's right, the channel faction managed to come in 2nd place. Not bad for a regiment that's not had any dedicated models for a long time. However, I do want to say, when I say it was the Mordian team that achieved this, realistically, all of the credit goes to one guy. Because whilst there was myself, True Blue Praetorian and Wasted 13 on the Mordian team, us 3 only completed about 1,800 points, but still unsure. The 4th person on our team completed 9,307 points on his own. This guy started the event without owning a guard army, and by the end of the event he'd almost painted 10k points worth of stuff. An absolute legend. Painted up hundreds of infantry, dozens of vehicles and super heavies. Just an absolute top lad. So the overall score for the Mordians was 11,150 points with an almost, but not quite 100% completion rate. But a very, very big well done to Still Unsure. It was incredible seeing this guy just getting models and getting them completed so quickly. And it just goes to show when you've got a good color scheme that you can paint quickly and you've got it practiced and well nailed down, how quickly you can churn the points out. So a big well done to him, because he is an absolute machine when it comes to painting. This shouldn't be the Mordians came second. It should be Still Unsure came second. Absolute hero. So, and a big, big well done to him. And of course to everyone else that got involved as well. But he definitely deserves a special mention. He painted the most points and the most models individually out of anyone in the entire event. So he deserves a lot of praise and credit for that. But there can only be one winner. And coming in first place with the most points vowed and completed was the Cadians. A big, big well done to the Cadian team. Not only did they have a lot of people on their team, but they also had a really, really high completion rate. One thing that makes these guys stand out from the Krieg is while both teams had about a similar number of points completed, the Cadians almost universally followed through and they had a really, really high completion rate. So, going to show why they deserve to be the poster boys of the Imperial Guard, the Cadians were able to complete 15,304 points on their own. And a big well done to Halfenstream, Polaris, Arantanak, Trevor Lane, Tal Tom, Garsman Peach, Bazantafal, Lorenzo, Gamley, Slyvarney, George M, Uber Branches, Solex, Maz38, The Lord Solar, Little Timmy, Alonius Pius. Yeah, they even have to say it in the garden, their team. Indy, definitely not Trotsky, Ocho, TCC, and Coaster for getting involved and for being on the Cadian team. Like with the Renegades and Heretics, a huge amount of the Cadian points came from their focus on painting vehicles. They actually only painted 105 infantry models, but they painted up 44 medium and heavy tanks, and they also painted up 4 super heavies, one of which was a Titan. That's right. One of the players on their team actually managed to get his hands on an original armor cast Titan. And I just said, I just could not allow that vow. I mean, it was meant to be a guard only event, but when someone turns up with a 20, 30-year-old armor cast Titan with all the authentication and everything, you can't say no to that guy. So well done to Alonius Pius for completing, for not only owning, but building and painting an armor cast Reaver Titan and doing a fantastic job on it as well. So well done to him. Overall, loads of people were involved in the Cadian victory, and it was definitely a team effort. Many people not only did one vow, they actually did multiple sets of models, and they just did really, really well. In fact, despite the fact that they had dozens of people on their team, they only had, and they completed 15,000 points, but they only didn't follow through at about 2,000 points. So they did really, really well. And so everyone on the Cadian team deserves a big well done, big pat on your back. Give yourselves a pat on the back, guys, because you did really, really well. And so that was the individual team scores, and well done to all the teams for getting involved, and well done to all of the players for just having a great time and really embracing the spirit of the event. There was nobody that came in with the wrong idea, the wrong attitude. Everyone was lovely and they all had a great time. They were all really fun to chat with and interact with, and it was just great seeing people just egging each other on and doing more vows and all the encouragement and just the overall camaraderie. Now, how did the Mordian Glory Discord do as a whole? Well, in total, all the teams combined painted 64,587 points. That is a staggering amount painted in just 3 months. Brilliant. And that just wasn't all from one team. That was all of the teams combined together. That's a fantastic result to have. There was about 18,000 points that wasn't completed, but overall that gives us about a 70 to 80% completion rate as a Discord server together, which is just a really, really good result. individual sort of model breakdown, we had 1,483 infantry models completed, 243 tanks, that's everything from Sentinels to Leman Russes, but let me tell you, at least half of that is Leman Russes. A lot of Leman Russes were painted and produced in this time frame. And there were also 12 Super Heavies completed, and on top of that, 1 Titanic model. But that was the Trooping the Colour event, and overall I think it was a resounding success. So many points painted up. I think it's something that really the Guard community, the Mordian Glory community, and the players involved in general can be really, really proud of the effort. It was so much fun getting involved in this event, and I can't wait to run another one. Now, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Which of the models that you've seen today were your favourite? Did you like that Marauder Destroyer, or did you like all of those tanks painted up by the Catachans? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video and you want to see more stuff like this, then please give it a like. And if you want to make sure you never miss an episode, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get involved in future painting events, all you need to do is become a channel member or Patreon supporter. Becoming a channel member and Patreon supporter really helps support the channel in general, but it gives you access to the Mordian Glory Discord, where we're running all sorts of these events going on. I'm actually going to be running this week a bolt action one that's going to be running till the end of the year, and to celebrate the release of the new Guard Codex, in a few weeks we're actually going to be doing another Guard painting one. We've cleared the backlog, now it's time to make sure that we get all of those new models painted as well. So if that sounds like something you want to get involved in, make sure you become a channel member or Patreon supporter and get yourself into that Discord server. But that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching, and of course, as always, I'll see you guys next time.